Hey guys, we finally made it to the end of this class and the semester, a very stressful semester, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to reflect upon what this class meant to me and what I learned and what I've changed about myself in the course of this semester and going forward. And I also wanted to highlight some of my favorite moments of the semester that I haven't included in any of my past videos that I'm going to include now. Now this is my Carolina barbecue sauce that I made for my first presentation, and it is so good. I still have it in my fridge. I've actually been using it on and off throughout the semester, and it is just so delicious. Now this is me cutting into ribs that I made in the middle of the semester. Of course, I was inspired by this class, and I was also preparing for our upcoming cook-off. But I took a lot of the things I had learned about barbecue and I applied them to how I cook this. Obviously, I didn't have a smoker, so I had to cook them in the oven, but I cooked them low and slow, and they turned out really delicious. Now, this was my first time ever cooking ribs, and I don't want to say I was surprised at how they turned out, but they were immaculately juicy and tender, and me and my roommates ate them all that night. There was 3 of us, and I really want to cook ribs again. I have to do that. Now, those ribs were made in preparation for this cook-off, and as you can see, Smokers Anonymous here in this picture, the real winners, the best team, and we prepared amazing food that day. It was an amazing time, and I just wanted to show you guys some highlights from the day. Now, to start, this is the moment that I realized that they had gotten me 2 different kinds of ribs. I was not able to go to H-E-B, so I was very confused when I saw this. But it all worked out, and all I had to do was a little bit of trimming, and nobody even knew the difference. 30 minutes?
Okay. I was like, it's 11:50.
Should be good. What do you think?
Do more.
Okay.
Do more.
Mom,
Now here we can see Arturo seasoning his Brussels sprouts quite heavily with the brown sugar that we used for the glaze. And in the back of the smoker you can see our pork spare ribs, along with the pot of red beans and rice prepared by Brianna. Now that day was obviously full of a lot of highlights for everybody, but my favorite part was actually talking to the Sam Houston alumni that brought the smokers in. And my pit coach actually gave me a really good pointer about the ribs, how I should have let them smoke on the smoker while outside of the foil before I wrapped them, which was different than how I had cooked them in the oven. And for some reason, I had not thought about how it would be different to cook it there. But that's just a great example of how we can learn from people that are have a lot of experience in the field and learn something new. And this is our final plating from the day. It was an excellent plating job with the pork spare ribs, mac and cheese, Brussels sprouts, red beans and rice, the bread, pickles, and onions, and of course our famous sauce, courtesy of Paige's family, that we see now. So thank you to everyone that came out and made it a great time, and thank you, Professor Dempson, for making us all winners. Now, there's way more I can include, but I only have a few minutes, and I kind of wanted to talk about how I've grown from this class and some of the things that have changed from what I think about. And one of those things is just eating more barbecue. Before this semester started, I didn't eat much barbecue, and I didn't really like barbecue sauce at all. But now whenever I'm traveling or I'm just trying to find a place to eat, barbecue is almost always the first place I think about. Now, this is a 2-meat plate from Wall's Barbecue right here in Huntsville. I had some family come into town, and since I've been taking this class, I've been obsessed with finding barbecue places, so I suggested we go here. And I must say the brisket was the best I've ever had. Maybe they were just having a really good day, but I actually went up and talked to the pitmaster just very briefly. I told him how much I loved it. Another example of how barbecue is changing the way I look at food is now I drive by Buc-ee's every time I go home, and recently I've been stopping on the way to get the sliced brisket sandwich, and it is delicious. I can't believe I had never tried it before, but I don't think I ever would have even thought about it if it wasn't for this class, and I will say it was a great decision, and if nothing else, I've learned that Buc-ee's is delicious. Along with eating more barbecue, it's also been a really interesting aspect to learn about how barbecue is a pushback from societal norms when it comes to eating. And I do believe that is true. I also believe that it's really cool how it can take a modern twist and people can still be innovating with it every day. With new restaurants people are opening, but they're still holding on to the cultural norms that started it while innovating. And I think that's very apparent with what we've discovered this semester. And I think that it really can be inspiring for people to get into this craft that is ancient, essentially, but still put a modern twist on it. Now, it's always been kind of a fantasy of mine to open a restaurant, and after this semester, I do feel like a good startup could be some barbecue if I get some more practice. But one thing I definitely want to do now is buy a smoker. I have always thought about what I want to spend my money on when I actually get a job, and this is high on the list now, because I would love to be able to host recreational parties on the weekends and have some great barbecue. Now, to highlight how much I've learned about barbecue from my classmates, my professors, Sam Houston alumni, and all the pitmasters we've been around, I kind of wanted to read off of my original knowledge of barbecue from the beginning of the semester. It says, my relationship with barbecue is surprisingly limited in the sense of my knowledge of the history of it. I do not know much about where ingredients or styles originated or what some of the essential ingredients are in something to make it authentic barbecue. As someone who's from San Antonio, barbecue is a common food item to be eaten in my house or to go out and get, so it's surprising that my knowledge can be so limited. I'm hoping by the end of this semester I will be able to use my gained knowledge and experiences to improve the ways I cook barbecue and combine ingredients, as well as become more informed on different kinds of barbecue and the history of barbecue and its significance. I am happy to say, looking back, that I did learn a lot about each one of those things I was talking about. I am happy that I got out of this class something that I couldn't really get out of any other class. It wasn't as academic based as others, but you really learn a lot about the people and regions and how food can have such an impact on a society and other aspects which really are unique to this class and that I would love to see moving forward in other classes. And thank you to everyone that went on this journey with me and us. Hope we all learned something, and thanks again to Smokers Anonymous, best team, and to Professor Dolshall and Dempson for making this class possible. Go out and cook some barbecue, guys.
Yeah, exactly. You guys done? Okay, cool. Really looks like